Hi, my name is Adam Barragato. I'm a fixed-term faculty here in the communication department, and I have ditched my shell in numerous ways. But before I tell you how I ditched my shell, I'm going to tell you why it's been so important. So, as a student, one of the things that drove me crazy was the idea that I had no idea who my faculty members were. I'll never forget, I was in a class, I don't remember what it was called, but for some reason, I remember this professor like it was yesterday. And she was talking about her roommate and how her roommate would always show up um, to friend gatherings and stuff like that after they had eaten dinner, or her roommate would like skip these movies or anything that cost money because she just didn't have any money. But her roommate just never came out and said that. She would just always find a way to like slyly come out and say that, and that just always like stuck with me because I'm like, oh my gosh, that is so crazy, what a unique story. And it was all in the context of really understanding social justice and this idea that there are people that don't have as much money as we do, and we have to be careful about that. I also remember that she had talked about how she got C's in grad school and how the only reason they kept her around was because she was a minority. I mean, that was like bold, and it was truthful, it was reflective, and it really got my attention. Now you have to understand that I took this class in 2003. So that was like 14, 15 years ago, and I remember that. And I remember her as being one of my favorite professors on campus, simply because she ditched her shell and she really showcased who she was. So that's why it's important to me, because it really makes things memorable, it makes them human, and I think it really brings attention to whatever it is you're trying to talk about in your class. So in my classes, I ditch my shell in a couple different ways. The first thing I always do is let them know exactly about me. I am a total dad, and my students, make fun of me when I say stupid things. It's like, that's a total dad move. But I totally play off of that because that's who I am. Like, I am that stereotypical dad who makes really corny jokes. I say really stupid things and hope people laugh. I like beg people to laugh at my jokes. And that just kind of reminds them that, yeah, like I am kind of corny and unfortunately it's probably annoying at times, but that's just a piece of who I am. And on that same token, I always talk about my daughter. I try to show pictures whenever I remember, and I try to talk about how she's going to be slamming doors on me when she's, 13 years old, even though at this point she's not even quite 2 yet. And actually, she did learn how to slam doors. I gotta tell my students that because I thought that's really funny. She's been slamming the door on me quite frequently. But when you say stuff like this to your students, it just really helps them understand that you're human. And even better yet, I get emails all the time from students who are like, hey, I know it's the weekend. I'm sure you're probably hanging out with your daughter right now. I don't want to bug you. Just email me back on Monday. And it's fantastic because now students totally understand. They're like, he's a dad. He's got things going on. He doesn't have time, to answer this email at 9 o'clock at night. Usually I get back to them at 5:30 in the morning. But my point is that you can use your shell, or excuse me, you can use what's inside of you, what makes you unique, to help students understand your policies. Like I always tell students, I will get back to you as soon as I can within 24 hours, but on the weekends, I spend time with family. And when you say stuff like that, it shows, one, what you value, and two, it helps students understand something really important about your class. And so I think the more that you share with your students, the more likely they are to personalize you, remember you, and most importantly, they're more likely to actually engage with you. I can't tell you how often students will stop me in the hall and ask me, hey, how's your daughter doing? And it amazes me that they even care about that. But the reality is they're human and so are you. So why are you keeping that from them?